Can you all hear me? Okay, lots of people joining. Hi. Just waiting for a few more people to come. They're all joining pretty quick. Wow, 23 already. Oh, alright, Jason. How are you doing? I'm alright. Callum. Hi. Lots of people waving. I'm gonna start waving back. Why not? Wow, 29. You know, I might as well start. So first of all, I was gonna do like a Q&A. So yeah, I mean, if you've got any questions, put them in the comments and stuff on the video. And yeah, I'm gonna look through some of the comments I got yesterday on my story. Got quite a few questions yesterday. Quite a lot from my girlfriend and her mum. Thank you. Greetings from across the pond. Congrats on making the final and doing such excellent work. Wow, where did you watch it from? What's your favourite food? My favourite food is probably Burger King chili cheese bites, without a doubt. Yeah, definitely my favourite food. When did you film Handmade? We actually filmed it in April and May and finished it in June. So yeah, a little bit of a while ago. I'm your biggest fan. I mean, I'd be flattered, but that's my girlfriend, so it's kind of expected. Probably shouldn't say how. Oh, did you watch it with a VPN? Oh, that's naughty. I was going to ask if you're still in / near Great Yarmouth, but I can hear the seagulls. Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually in Winterton, hence the Instagram name. Ashley from Handmade says, bad taste in food. Yeah, but I can't... Oh, if I like it, I like it. Chili cheese bites, I like spicy food. And I like cheese. What's it like being famous? Do you know what? I'm not really famous. I mean, local celebrity in the village always gets spoken to, but you know, it's rare anyone even mentions the show outside the village. Fellow Norfolk native here, you represented us well. Well, I'm not actually originally from Norfolk. I've only been here for about, I don't know, coming up to 4 years. But yeah, I definitely feel quite part of it now. And yeah, put Norfolk on the map. Any more questions? I'm in the process of trying to find a birthday card that my brother lost. Thanks for letting me know. I'll make you a wooden one. Oh, Russell. Jacob, you look so sexy. Wish I could say the same to you, but I can't see your face. But Russell, you're always sexy. You're great, a lovely personality. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I like that. Thanks. Yeah, I'm flattered. What would your favourite top be? I think... Oh, tool. You corrected it. My favourite tool has to be my new Axminster sander. It's like a disc sander and a belt sander in one. I might actually go and show you it. It's my latest addition to the workshop. This here. I've only had it a couple of days, but it's actually had quite a lot of use. Yeah, definitely my favourite tool at the moment. That, by far. Oh look, you can just about see all the contestants with Mel in my little cupboard. Since going over there, I've got loads more questions. Right. Okay, where was I? Great hair. I really need a haircut. And I actually bought some hair dye today, so I might dye it silver again. Any tools on the show you wish you had at your workshop? I would say the tool I wish I had in my workshop would be the spindle sander. I love sanding machines. Sanding is one of my least favourite parts of woodworking. So if I can have anything that makes it quicker and easier, definitely. Next question. What's your favourite song? My favourite song is... It's probably got to be... Oh, that's a tough one. I love loads of songs. I think right now it's Little Black Submarine by the Black Keys. I love the Black Keys. Would you ever do woodwork classes? Do you know what? I'd love to do an evening class. That would be cool. I wouldn't know where to start in organising something like that, and I wouldn't know how much interest it would have, but hopefully I can get around to doing that in future. What happened to all the big builds after filming the show? I actually got to take them all home. Some of them have been dished out to family members. I mean, you can see right here, I have the vase. This is what won my place in the final. I have the bar sign up there. I even have part of my bar in the workshop as a lathe stand. Move my sign. Bit of branding. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely been beaten up a little bit because it's been used as a workbench. The rest of the bar my dad has. I just wanted to keep a little bit. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can see most of my builds anytime I like, simply by visiting family. So that's good. Next question. I see lots of battery power tools on the show. How big is their tent of chargers and batteries? I can go for a battery in no time. I imagine you guys burnt for a lot. Oh, right. So before we filmed an episode, when we walked into the workshop in the morning, there was just this swarm of batteries over one of the benches. There's at least 60 batteries. The big... what were they? About 5 amp hours or something. There were so many of them. They must have been so expensive. And we literally had a stack of batteries at the start of the episode, and we never had an issue with being stuck with no charged batteries. It was actually quite fortunate, but yeah, batteries are the way to go. You can't get bogged down with cords in the middle of a 2-day challenge like that. So yeah, that was a good question. Apart from the kids' tool bench, what was your other favourite projects on the show? Do you know what? I think the daybed. It was it's definitely one of the most sleek things I've ever made, and I've never really made anything before that point solely out of oak. I always sort of shied away from it because it's quite a dense, awkward wood, but I kind of wanted to go for something that was a bit challenging and that fitted the style. So yeah, I'm definitely proud of myself for that one. Next question. Big fan of Axminster. Yeah, I am. I mean, I'll show you some of my tools. So here I have the Axminster Craft bandsaw. Axminster Craft are now rebranded as Axminster Workshop, I believe. So yeah, you can still find this available in Axminster under the Axminster Workshop badge, but it's the same machine, pretty much. I have the Axminster Craft table saw. Like I showed you before, I have the sander. Like I said, the new branding. This isn't Axminster. I just painted it to look like it. It's actually an old mortise machine that I use as a drill press. And this is Axminster. This is my lathe. I don't do a lot of turning on the lathe, but when I do, it's really nice to have such a quiet machine and such a high quality machine like Axminster provides. So definitely worth getting Axminster tools, I think. So yeah, those are most of my machines. My girlfriend just commented, I used it, it's terrifying. Do you prefer pure furniture making? Would you do more sculptures? Do you know what? I've only done one sculpture and that was on the show. But I do love it. And if I could get my hands on the Arbortech tools, the power carver, the power chisel, I would definitely give it more attempts and maybe even get good at it. I don't know. Because I think I was a bit lucky with that sculpture. I chose something that I didn't really need to worry about because it was using the shape of a log. I'm not sure how I would have coped if I was making a shape like Russell. His seahorses, they had to look like seahorses. And if he couldn't get the shape, then, you know, it wouldn't have given a good effect. So, yeah, hopefully I can try it again and get good at it. I think Mel liked to make you blush. Do you know what? I think it was a bit back and forth. I'm quite a flirty joker. I mean, you even saw it with, I think I said a few comments to Russell and Sarah on the show. But yeah, Mel sort of easy target, and she gives it back. There was so much banter on the show that didn't make it on, and I really wish everyone could see it. It was such fun. Love your hair and tattoos. Yeah, I mean, I forgot which arm it was then. I only really have tattoos on my arm, and since filming, I've had some pattern put in. Not all the way around. Still need to get that done, but yeah. And I do have more tattoos. I can't show you because I'd have to pull my trousers down. It's on my knees. But yeah. What's the next question? My girlfriend said, you have me to do your sanding. Yeah, she's quite good at sanding. I had my girlfriend and her mum in here helping me make some items for a Christmas craft fair recently. Here are some boxes I made. Oh, one of my business cards in there. Again, a little bit of branding. And yeah, I'm in the process of making a few different styles. So these have some splines in the corners I need to trim. Tested this idea out, which it looks cool. I just feel like it needs some resin. I have to get Sarah on that. She's well good at resin. But yeah, that's just some ideas. What else is there? Oh, you do a class at... Yes, sorry, I needed a reminder there. I don't do any adult wood classes, but I do work in a primary school, and every Friday I do after-school woodwork club. So yeah, that's quite fun. It's quite rewarding. Last year it was it's kind of a Christmas thing. I did it last Christmas. We built little wooden lanterns and sort of made stained glass windows out of perspex and some adhesive film, and put a little electric candle in there. So yeah, it's quite good. Kids as young as 6 to as old as I think 12 all made the same thing, all had the same results. They all went home with a really nice lantern and it looked really cool. So yeah, this year we're sort of doing smaller projects. They're doing multiple things through the term. So yeah, it's quite rewarding. It's quite fun to do actually. They all love it. Oh, it's Tony. Do you still have our light boxes? Oh, after filming, I managed to save our first skills challenge from the show. Is it under my bench? Not sure. And yeah, I really need to get on to sending them out to them. Yeah, some of them didn't quite survive the series. They were in a wood bin the entire time, but I managed to salvage as much as I could. Ashley, what was your favourite build and skills challenge and why? Oh, do you know what? I'm going to ask any contestant in the group chat, in the live stream, and asked you the same thing. My favourite build out of all was the kids' workbench, and that's just because I managed to get in a ton of joinery and finish them to a good standard, and the judges really loved it. And yeah, I would have loved to have that as a kid. And my favourite skills challenge, well, I think it was this one. Not necessarily because it was what I made, it's because making this made sure, locked in my place in the final. And that was my goal the entire way through the series, was be in the final. Winning would have been a cherry on top. I just wanted to be right there at the end. I wanted to make all of my builds. That's really what I wanted. What are you wearing under the apron? Wearing a jumper, dressed as Russell. Grey jumper. Just a Levi's hoodie. What are you wearing under your apron, Russell? Do you have a favourite timber, or does it depend on what you're making? Oh, good question. I think, just in general, my favourite timber is Purple Heart. I've not really worked with it much. I worked with some Purple Heart veneer on the show in Barsign. I just love how it's naturally purple. It's weird. It's just unnatural. I love it. That's why I love it so much. Favourite wood to work with? Different question. My favourite wood to work with is, I'm going to say sapele. Just because the grain is so fine, I find that, yeah, it tears out when you plane it, but when you chisel and pare down the surfaces, it turns to wafery shavings as opposed to chipping out large sections. So that's why I love it. I can get quite good tight joinery with sapele. I've got the old Axminster TS250 table saw from the hobby range, which was before the craft stuff. Lol. I've not actually had any experience with the hobby range. I feel like it would be sort of similar machines, similar sort of quality. I think it must just be a rebranding. But yeah, I love Axminster stuff, all of it. I made a bowl stand for my dog in late August. I'm just gutted that I couldn't get it home before we passed. Oh, that's really sad. What was your dog's name? Did you keep the bowl though, as sort of a like a sort of a remembrance sort of thing, a memory? That's really upsetting. I'm sorry to hear that. How long ago was that? Was it last August or this year? They need to show the outtakes. Now that would be fun. Do you know what? I think most of the show was outtakes. I think most of the stuff they put in was, we messed up or we've said something stupid or, I think 80% of the show was sort of an oops moment. But yeah, some of the slip-ups were quite funny. There was a lot more swearing in the workshop than was actually on the show. I got at as well. What was something you wish you could make but can't at the moment? Oh, okay. Now I wish I could make a shepherd's hut, which is like a sort of a wooden caravan cart sort of building with they typically have an arched roof, and they're really cool. They're like a shed on wheels. That would be really cool. They were like pulled by a horse, I believe. Yeah, I'd love to make one of those. Did you get paid for the show as you were away for so long? Ooh, I think I might have to skip over that one. I don't think I'm allowed to divulge into that information. There was a guy in Cambridge making and selling wood fountain pens and key fobs, all individual and really cute as gifts. I've made some pens. If you look on my Instagram, scroll back right to the start, you'll see some pictures of a blue resin pen that I've been turning. I have all the gear for it. I really haven't got into doing it. Which I think it's just, I need better lathe tools. At the moment, what I've got are, I'm just going to say the cheapest ones on the internet. So, yeah, I need to upgrade those. Russell says the toy is his best build too. Yeah, I loved your toy, Russell. That Ferris wheel. I think it didn't get enough recognition, to be fair. Yeah. And the roses. Oh, you love making the roses. Do you know what? They were really fun. I did like the roses. And I feel like me, you, and Chloe's roses were very, very similar. I think I made, was it 9? You made 10 and Chloe made 11 or something like that. And no, sorry, the other way around. I made 10, you made 8, and Chloe made 7. And mine were, I think, the messiest, but I had the most. And it was definitely between us three, because I think as you and Chloe's sort of were presented, you made less but of higher quality. I'm surprised they didn't go for the higher quality ones, to be honest. Ashley's skills challenge for Ashley had to be the pyrography. I think mine is around. Oh, here we go. The most embarrassing thing I've ever made. No, that's supposed to be Mel. So yeah, that lives on a shelf face down. Otherwise, my workshop will be possessed. Russell says under his apron he wears another apron. Did being on the show help you get noticed by tool brands, etc., as possible sponsors for your content? Well, I've been sort of talking with Axminster, and they're sort of happy to work with me on future projects, and yeah, so they're that's someone I'm working closely with, I think, and I've sort of been spoken to by other tool companies, which may or may not come through with some sort of sponsorship deal in future. So yeah, looking good. I like the kitchen cabinets in your workshop. I got those for free. Had to do a job for someone in the village. Had to remove some of their kitchen units and dispose of them. And I said, "Can I take them?" And they just said yeah. So they're in my workshop. I love a drawer. I can fill the drawer with sandpaper. Love it. Oh, my twin brother's joined. Hello. He probably joined a while ago. I might be behind with the comments. Hi Jacob, you should make me a guitar body. That would be awesome. I will make you a guitar body one day. There was some good banter. If you're on about the show, yeah, definitely. Banter Central. My dog's name was Echo. Yeah, we kept the bowl. Gonna use it as a bird feeding table this year. He went on 3rd of September this year. Echo had cancer on his spleen and it started bleeding. Oh no. Yeah, that's not good. My girlfriend has some dogs, and the big dog Lexi had a nasty infection a little while ago. And it's sad seeing a dog ill in the first place. So yeah, I can't imagine yeah, how it must be. But yeah, I mean, at least you managed to keep the bowl as a memory. Maybe we should make a little plaque or something. That'd be really cute, just to remember. What happened with all the mails after the show? Makes. Lots of typos here. I love it. I type. Yeah, it reminds me of myself. Can't type to save my life. The makes. Yeah, most of my family members have them sort of dished around. I've got no room to put 8 big builds, so yeah. I've got a few of them here though. Big love, mate, from Russell. Love you, Russell. Oh, 2 kisses. Oh, cheeky. Oh, not on the live stream, Russell. You know, in our private chat. Were the planes sharp enough? If you want about the skills challenge, I feel like a plane blade myself is never sharp enough. I think you could always sharpen it more. Have you seen those Japanese hand plane tournaments where they get the paper shavings? Wow. I would love to sharpen that good. I think on the roses, it was just a case of we was having to take such thick shavings to make the roses that the blades really needed to be that much more sharper. But, you know, it was a skills challenge. It had to challenge us. We had to sort of cope with what we had. And everyone was in the same boat. Everyone had the same plane. So, yeah. Lol, could be Noel Fielding. What, me? Oh, God. Everyone always compares me to different people because of the silver hair. I don't look like anyone refers me to, but yeah, I think the silver hair gets everyone a bit. You should go on Series 3 as a guest judge. That'd be really funny. I hear you have a decent fish and chip shop in your... Adrian, I see what you're doing there. Yeah, if you ever do come to Winterton on Sea in Norfolk, make sure you visit the chip shop. Best chip shop in the village. Only chip shop in the village, but best chip shop in the village nonetheless. I think I've run out of questions. Has anyone got any more? I might have to go into yesterday's story questions. So, is there any I haven't asked yet? Okay. So, how can I commission you to make something? Well, I mean, you can direct message me on Instagram. That's an option. You can go onto my website, which is linked in my bio, and click on the contact page, and there's a contact form. And if you're local in the village, you can ask me in person. So yeah, there's 3 main ways of doing it. Another way is if you ever manage to get hold of a business card, there is some contact information on the back. So yeah, that's how you can commission me to make something. What advice may you give someone who wanting to get into woodworking? Okay, so if you want to get into woodworking, I would say, for one, start with a basic toolkit. And that is a set of chisels, mallet, some form of saw. I use Japanese saws, but you can just use a tenon saw or even a ordinary hand saw. A square, hand plane. Get different types of hand plane, but yeah, just a hand plane, and a ruler. I think you can do quite a lot with just those things. If you want to go into more larger projects, then you can go into power tools. Handheld battery power tools are a way to get into that, or you can even go eventually into machines, but definitely start with a hand tool kit. I think I've got some more questions come through. My brother, will you make a guitar body? If so, what woods would you use? Okay, so if I was to make a guitar body, I would use maple for the main part of the body, and then I would make a cap on the top. So quite a thick veneer of a bird's eye maple or tiger stripe book matched pattern, and I'd stain it something bright. I think that's what I would do. Not sure if it's been asked, but is woodwork now your full-time job? I'm still at the school working as a caretaker, 7 hours a week. It's not a lot of hours at the school, but it's something. Just sort of I like being at the school. I like sort of the community of it. I like teaching woodwork club to the kids on a Friday as well. But yeah, I'm in the workshop quite a lot, and I'm still sort of doing handyman jobs around the village, a lot of woodwork stuff. So yeah, but it's getting that way. I might eventually have to stop with the school. It'd be very sad to, but I've got no plans to stop at the moment. Any more? My little brother said, don't forget a drill. If you're going into larger woodwork projects, outside furniture, sheds, construction, drill is the way to go. But if you're into joinery, furniture, hand tools, definitely. What made you decide to do the show? Was it a long selection process? So, I watch the first series with my girlfriend and her mum every week. And at the end, Mel's voice saying, if you would like to be on a future series of Handmade, please apply. And I had to. I had to go, I'm doing that. I am doing that. And my girlfriend's mum looked at me and was like, no, you're not. Please, no, that's going to be so embarrassing. Please don't do that. They're very, I think they're introverts. They like to sort of keep themselves to themselves. My girlfriend's very shy. And the fact that her boyfriend may be on TV, I think embarrassed her massively. But, that was obviously the push. After someone tells you, don't do it, it's embarrassing, you do it. But they're proud of me. They supported me. They loved it. Every time I said something stupid, they were the first to laugh. Is your workshop at home? It is, yeah. It's just in the garden, really. Which is nice. To get to work, it takes 15 seconds. Still managed to be late. Can you make me a wooden screwdriver box for my Lecky screwdrivers? It's my little brother. He's just finished his electrician course at college. And he wants a little wooden box for screwdrivers, so I might have to write that down as a Christmas present. You didn't hear that, Callum. Can you do a tutorial for us, please? Do you know what? In about 10 minutes, I'm going to stop the questions and I will do a little tutorial, I think. I wish I recorded both my brother's reactions when I told you about me going back to college. They got so excited and wouldn't stop saying that you're their best friend and stuff. Oh, that's nice. I don't have any friends. It'd be nice to at least have a couple. And I might have some there. Where do you get your timber from? Do you mill rough lumber or get it planed all round, like on the show? I have been getting plain timber mostly. I'm quite lucky because the timber mill I get my wood from planes it for nothing. And yeah, it's quite handy. But I now have a planer thicknesser, so I've been reducing timber, planing it myself if I need smaller amounts. So it's a mixture of both, really. My little brother's friend said, shout out to your mum. She said, well done on the show. Yeah, my mum and dad are proud of me as well. My mum and dad have recently made an Instagram account just so they can follow me and like my stuff. Okay, I think that's the end of the questions on there. I think I'm going to stop with the questions for now and maybe do a tutorial of some kind. Any suggestions as to what? Maybe some joinery or sharpening. I might do sharpening. So yeah, I'm open to suggestions. My mum's joined. Hello, Mum. So, I've got my girlfriend, my girlfriend's mum, my twin brother, my little brother's friend, and my mum, all in this chat. Okay, I've got one vote for joinery. Okay. Make a mitre joint as a simple tutorial. A mitre joint. I mean, that's pretty simple. I've got a mitre guillotine. That's quite nice. So, a bit too easy. Come on, something harder. But don't say a sunrise dovetail joint because you'll be blocked. No, I'm joking. Oh, my mum said, hi, son. Hello, Mum. Hi, Mum. It's me. No. Okay. Make my Christmas present. My brother wants me to make a screwdriver box now. No. My twin says do a dovetail. My girlfriend said, sunrise dovetail joint, please. I love them. No. So I might do a single dovetail joint. I might do that. Tony, shut up. Make what colour? The dovetail, the sunrise dovetail, or the box? Okay, I'm going to just decide it's dovetail joint. Ordinary dovetail joint. Sorry to disappoint Tony and Bonnie. Right, so I'm going to pause the live stream for 2 minutes while I get set up. You can take a quick break and come back in 2 minutes. Right, hello. Is everyone ready? Sorry about that. I was just clearing some stuff, getting some wood machined up, ready. Okay, so first thing I need to do is sharpen. So here is my sharpening stone, and it's a diamond plate. So because my chisels are fairly sharp, I only need to give them a very, very slight sharpen. So, flat on the back, a bit more. So, can you see the scratches on the very tip? Just want the edge to be flat. See, there's a little bit of a hollow here. It's flat there and flat there. I only need it to be flat on the tip. Next step is the bevel. So just find where it's flat, lift it about 5 degrees, and then do figure of 8s until I've got an even ground edge all the way along the tip of the chisel. Like that. Okay, there'll be a little burr on the back, which is the very tip of metal folding itself over because it's so thin. Place it off the edge of the stone, put it back onto it, and what I want to do is just tease it so it comes off. I want to remove that burr so I end up with a really sharp chisel. Okay, that should be razor sharp. Right, let's see if I can do the shaving test with it. Yeah, that's removing hair from my arm. Nice. And the skin. No, I'm only joking. So yeah, that is my chisel sharpened. Cool. So, next step is exactly the same, but with a plain blade. This is going to be very quick. I'm going to gloss over this just as a recap and because I don't want to take up too much time with sharpening. So, same principle, flatten the edge, and then do the tip of the blade on the bevel. You have to excuse the rusty blade. My plane was left outside overnight while I was doing some work for my uncle. I got all the stuff out the car and my tools. Put my tools on the little wooden sleeper on his drive. I went indoors. Next day, I thought, where's my plane? I look outside and there it is, my chisels, my plane and my sharpening stone just sat on the wall. So yeah, that's why it's a bit rusty. I need to clean that up soon. But that is the tools sharpened for my dovetail joint. Okay. There's so many topics I could go over here. Setting up a plane for one. Blade, chip breaker. Chip breaker sits about 2mm back from the edge of the blade. And tighten the screw. And then pop that into the plain body called the frog. My girlfriend loves frogs, so she'll probably be very amused at that name. Put the cap iron in, lock it down. Now that should take a shaving. Like so. Okay, there's the plane ready. Now, last step is laying out my marking for my joints. So, 2 square ends here, already prepared. When doing dovetail joints, it's really important that you use square edges, 90-degree angles to make it much easier. Yes, you can dovetail odd angles, but in theory, you want to make a nice flat box or something. So, what you need to do is start with square prepared timber. Then, you need to take a marking gauge. There are different kinds of marking gauges. This is just one type. I've got several different ones dotted around the workshop. Ones with pins, ones with wheels, like this one. But they all work the same, really. You set this to the thickness of your material, from this point to this point. Easiest way to do that is loosen it, sit it on the wood, let it drop to the bench and tighten it. Now that's set right. Now, simply mark this. Oh, bit of a squeak. You simply mark this around the workpiece. I can imagine that the TV show wasn't this slow paced for you guys watching it at home. And you know what? In all honesty, I was rushing the joints on there as well, so it's nice to be able to do a slow dovetail joint for a change. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that, but it's now scored a line all the way around. So now it's time to mark my angles. Now I've got a few different tools to do this. I've got a dovetail guide for a saw. What this is a magnet, so when you run your saw down the timber, it keeps it at that consistent angle. I feel like that's a little bit cheating, so I won't be using the magnet, but what I will use is the angle to mark out my dovetails. You can buy dedicated tools just for marking out these angles. I do have a couple, but this was the closest one to hand. Sorry, just getting a pencil. Okay, so I want to make, how many dovetails do I want to do? I'm just going to put 2 dovetails on this. And the amazing thing about dovetails is you can put them anywhere you like, any size you like, and as long as you are accurate when you draw around them, it's going to work. So on here I've made 2 dovetails, very similar sizes to be fair. I didn't go too crazy making one bigger than the other, just because I think they look nicer when they match. And here is the waist. So hopefully you can see that. And just so you can see it, my marking gauge line that I marked earlier, I will put pencil in that, just so you can see. Okay, so now I have to mark it on the back too. So I pop it in the vise, get my square on the top, and mark those lines across. And then put it on the back. Let's bring this lower in the vise so you can see. Okay, so now I've got that point with the dovetail joint, it's time to start sawing. So forgive me if the workbench sort of moves or wobbles, but yeah, here we go. And what you want to do is try and cut on the outside of these lines on the waist side, but only just kissing the line, and cut down to your marking gauge line. Okay, now I'm here. I can choose whether to cut the shoulders first or take out this middle bit of waist. Seeing as there's only one in the middle, I'm going to do that first. So you get a coping saw, and you just cut into your saw mark, and then just swoosh it off to the other one to take a big chunk out, and you come back in and remove the rest. Okay. And you don't want to go down to your line with this. You want to be able to chisel really delicately towards it. Now it's time for the shoulders, which are the pieces of wood left over on the left and the right. These you do want to kind of go quite up to your line with. can get it with a saw first go, then that's the best case scenario. The wood's quite long, so I'm a bit out of frame. Okay, so we're almost there with the first half of the dovetail joint. The next thing you want to do is clamp it down to the workbench. So I'm going to pop behind me and grab a clamp. But you don't just want to clamp it on its own. You need to clamp a piece of wood to it with a straight edge. And what that will do is guide your chisel cuts to be in a perfectly straight line. I think I've chosen quite a large piece of wood there. Let's just get the other piece of this. Okay, right. This, with a really sharp chisel, isn't really too bad of a job. It's not the most difficult thing in the world. I might just grab my slightly smaller chisel to start with. See if I can get you in a position where you can see the cut being made. So, never take off more than 1 millimetre at a time with end grain, as it may have a tendency to start tearing. But you just simply nibble away. This chisel could be sharper. I'm glad I sharpened the larger one. Okay. Now. Yes. Perfect. And if these are a little proud, just chisel these two. I think this one's good. Okay, a little bit needs to come off. Cool. Now, this is more or less a finished component. Dovetails don't take too long, really, when you have nice sharp tools, square timber, accurate marking. It's all in the prep, really. That's the most important part. It's all in the prep. So, there we go. Now, what you need to do is take your other piece, pop it in the vise, flush to the workbench. Position your original piece so your dovetail ends sit on top, like so. And then overlap it by about 0.5 millimetre. The reason we do this just allows the joint to tighten up once it closes up together. Okay. Then, ideally with a marking knife, you would score the insides of these. I'm going to use a chisel because it's what I have on hand. And you simply scratch as closely and as accurately to the sides of your dovetails as possible, like so. It's going to be very hard to see, but on there are some scratches. Now, what I always do is at this stage, always pencil in your waist and scribble to just the inside of that line to make it obvious. The biggest mistake people do in dovetails is remove the wrong sections. I've seen it so many times. I've done it a few times. So, yeah, definitely mark your waist. And now this, you simply cut just like before. You cut on the inside of your marks, leaving your knife marks on the edge of your saw. If you're worried about cutting straight, mark it with a square first. But seeing as this is thin material, I think I can cut quite straight. Okay, again, coping saw in the saw mark, take out the waste. And don't worry if your coping saw snaps while making this joint, it's very common. Simply just replace your blade and carry on. Happens a lot. A lot of people are turned away from joinery just because it takes a while, but I think that's the therapeutic part of it. It sort of teaches patience, and you can really appreciate what you're making more if it's taken you time to produce it. And I think that's why I like woodworking so much. I'm very impatient, but when I'm in here doing this, I all of a sudden have all the patience in the world. So yeah, that's helps me out definitely. So again, I'm just positioning some timber on that line so I can chisel against it accurately. And I'm doing the same as before with the chiseling, except now these slots V in the middle, so just be wary of that. Don't chisel straight down. I'm going to use a slightly larger chisel. That little one is a bit blunt. Do you know what? I'm going to see, I've got my leather strop. What this will do is just refine that edge to a mirror polish and just take up that level of sharpness to the next notch. Nice. I think that's working. Here we go. This may quite obviously be different. There we go. That is so different. So basically, dovetail joints can be done fairly quickly, and if you're sort of in the swing of things, you might even be able to knock out quite a few in a short amount of time. So if you're making a set of drawers, one drawer, it'll take a little while. If you're batching out components, then you can do 7 of the same piece consecutively and get it done quite quick. People do dovetails with machines like routers, and that can make them pretty quick, to be honest. I've not actually tried using a router for dovetails before, mainly because the jigs can be quite expensive to buy sometimes, but I'm definitely open to giving it a go. Now, just seeing if they go together, which, surprise, surprise, they don't just yet. But that is because, remember earlier when I moved it over 0.5 millimetre, so the joint tightened up, what that does is it means that my dovetail slots are too tight. So then I can pare it down to let it go in. But what I might do is bring the shoulder back slightly, just so I get my dovetails protruding out the end slightly, as opposed to having them flush from the start. You can do it either way. You can make your openings bigger, or you can bring the shoulder back. And I'm choosing to bring the shoulder back just because my dovetails are very, very slightly under flush. I'd rather than protrude out the back. Go. Okay, not quite fitting just yet, but if I pare down the edge very slightly, I think that will go in. I can see a couple of cuts that aren't quite to my mark. All you need to do with that is pop the chisel in that original knife line and chisel down straight, as square as you can. I think that's pretty much it. And let's give that a shot. Here we go. Just going to make my slots deeper, just slightly. So the good thing with joinery is you can sneak up on a fit. You don't have to cut a hole and hope and pray it's the right size and you haven't done anything. You can go just undersized, and you can just fine tune it to the point where it fits so snugly and satisfyingly in a hole that it gives you goosebumps. Oh, just me? Oh, never mind then. Moved. Oh no, we're moving. Let's straighten you back up. Let's tighten you back down. Okay. Not in frame. Let's move you there. Okay. So I think there's a question. When are you going live next? I think I'm going to go live next week on Wednesday. Except I've had a few suggestions to go live later. So I think next week I'm going to go live in the evening, say 8 p.m. And I might even do that weekly for the next few weeks, maybe leading up to Christmas. I might even make something Christmassy in a couple of weeks, so keep an eye out for that. Let's see if this joint goes together. And just need to give it a little bit of a clean up. Now that has turned out pretty nice. Not bad for a quick dovetail. I think that's passable. There's a couple of hairline gaps, but I'm happy with it. Not bad for being done in, I don't know how long that was, 15 minutes, and talking about it at the same time. I'm just styling it out now. Yeah, there's a couple of gaps. Okay, so that is basically the principles of cutting a dovetail. You can obviously take much more time and make loads. Make about 6 in a row. They look nice. There's also so many things you can do with dovetails as well. Like, you can cut a dovetail into a contrasting piece of wood, cut that off, and then cut more dovetails inside it. So you then end up with a stripe of a different colour around them. I've seen that before. That looks really nice. I'm just going to check up on the comments while I've been doing the dovetail. My friend Chris has joined. He's watching me on the bus. Oh God. Everyone on the bus, embarrass Chris. Bully him. He's the guy playing this out loud. Oh, Chris, you're disgusting. Okay, nobody read Chris's comment. Late night woodwork for grown-ups. Yeah. Can you make a whole Christmas tree? Have you got a seed? I might do. Okay. Great work in the finals. Thanks. Yeah. That was the hardest one of the lot. So yeah, it's really nice having recognition for the hardest build, you know. It's nice. It's nice being, like, you know, congratulated. Feels good. Do you know what? I might go back to some questions. Has anyone got any questions? Anyone? I can go back to reading yesterday's, actually. Let's go back to reading yesterday's questions on my story. Okay, so do you have woodworking / maker heroes who do you look up to? Do you know what? I think while I was learning, I always watched Matt Esley on YouTube. I learned joinery a lot from Matt Esley's videos. He's really thorough. And I even got to meet him in Axminster once on one of his demos. That was quite good. And recommend his channel. If you've not seen it, go look at his YouTube channel. He's currently he's converting a van into a mobile home. Very, very thoroughly insulating it. And he's done his vapor barrier. And I've not seen anyone so thorough with a vapor barrier before. So he's trying his best to get it, you know, perfect, which he is a bit of a perfectionist. So yeah, go look at his channel. Recommend. Next question on this list is, what was the most challenging thing about being on the show? I think finishing the project, because it doesn't matter how well you build something. It doesn't matter how good your joinery is. If you're not finished, well, that's it. You can end up going home. Simple as that. So Tony, on week 1, his table was very, very, very precise. His craftsmanship on the inlay and the miters around the edge of the tabletop, that was really good. Like, some really high-end work there. But because he didn't finish, the judges didn't take notice of how well it was crafted, which is, it's just the way the show is. So that was it. Finishing the task is the most challenging bit. Another question is, what's your favourite holiday? My favourite holiday is Christmas, because I'm still a bit of a child. Love Christmas songs, love Christmas lights, love presents. So yeah, what is your favourite wood? I answered that earlier, but in case any of you didn't hear, my favourite wood, appearance-wise, is Purple Heart, and my favourite wood to work with is sapele. Sapele is really, really nice. I like the darker woods. The sawdust doesn't seem very natural at first when you first start learning woodwork. You see a pile of sapele dust on the floor, it just looks like chocolate shavings. Yeah. So working with exotic woods, it just feels weird, but I love it. Okay, got some questions on the group on the live stream now. My girlfriend asked if I prefer the left or the right. I'm right-handed, so I prefer the right direction. I think that's what you're asking. What's your favourite type of timber to work with? A lot of people are asking that. What do you find the most satisfying or maybe cleanest? So the most cleanest results in woodworking I always get from tulip wood, which is also called poplar, which is this right here. And that is due to it being, it's a hardwood, but it's quite soft hardwood, I feel. I mean, like look at the way the corner chisels, just simply by pushing down, it's like butter. Now, doing joinery on tulip wood is so satisfying. That's definitely cleanest joinery results. Tulip wood, definitely. Okay. Have you ever injured yourself? Oh, okay. So I have. It was actually quite a close one to losing fingers. I had an old table saw. No safety features. It was my dad's, been passed down from someone and stored in a garage. First ever table saw I used. The blade took, I would say, 20 seconds to finally slow down to a stop, which is quite a long time. And I had noise cancelling earphones in, so I couldn't hear the blade just slowly slowing down. And I'd brushed my hand past it, grabbing some pieces I'd cut, and I'd caught the blade on the side of this finger, and it took all the skin off, knocked this nail, and took the corner of this finger. And at that point, I got a new table saw. My dad bought it for me. All the safety features on it, blade guard, dust collection, you name it, push sticks. And yeah, been safe with them ever since. Are you still going to make the thing my cousin asked you when... Oh, Jason, no. What's this? My girlfriend's mum sanded her hand the other day. It sort of like jumped and grazed up her hand. So it was bleeding as well, which it must have sanded quite deep to have blood come from it, especially with 180 grit. So yeah, ouch. Any more questions on here? Favourite tool brand? Axminster all the way. Do you like Festool? I'm not going to lie, I do like Festool. Festool if you're watching. Right, let's get back to yesterday's questions. Okay. Do you prefer Canterbury or Winterton? So I'm originally from Canterbury in Kent, and I've been in Winterton for coming up to 4 years. Lived in the village for about 3. And I've got to say, Winterton's much calmer. I do love Winterton. I do love the environment. That's why other than the fact that my girlfriend lives here, I love being here, I love working in the village. So I prefer being in Winterton. But now, when I visit Canterbury, I don't take it for granted as much. I don't just ignore the sights. I don't just ignore the cathedral. I can actually take it in. It feels more like a holiday now, going down to where I used to live. So I love a little Canterbury getaway, but I prefer being in Winterton. And my family are in Canterbury, so, always going to love being there. Favourite film? My favourite film is Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny. It is the worst made film ever made, but I love Jack Black. Love Tenacious D. If you've never listened to Tenacious D, listen to Tenacious D. So yeah, that's what's next. My favourite emo song. I don't know, a lot of people, I don't know if anyone even noticed, I'm a little bit of an emo. I used to have a really strong emo phase at school. But yeah, do listen to emo music still. I do love King for a Day by Pierce the Veil, Sleeping with Sirens. Love a bit of screamo every now and then. What instruments can you play? I can play the ukulele. We did film a little section for the show, but it didn't get put on, which is quite disappointing. Tanya plays the banjo, so we did a little duet with the banjo and ukulele outside by the campfire. That was nice. And I play the bass as well. So yeah, I have a ukulele in the workshop, but I'm too embarrassed to play for you. Any other hobbies? Eating chocolate. Cooking. I like cooking. Yeah, I think woodwork is 99.999% of everything I'm interested in. So I don't really have much other hobbies. I'm quite boring, really. I do like going outside. Just going out. I do like going out. What made you get into woodworking, and what was the first thing you made? Okay, I got into woodworking because my dad told me about him doing woodwork at school, and I went to the same secondary school that my dad went to previously. But they never did woodwork while I was there, so I decided to take it up at college. And yeah, it was at college that I learned some basic joinery, and the first bit of furniture I made in level 2 was a little bedside table with an integrated chessboard with chess pieces. And I sold that to someone that worked in the college, which is amazing to be able to say I sold the very first piece of furniture I ever made. And I'm sad that I didn't keep it, but it sort of taught me to not get so attached to everything I make. Anything I haven't answered? Who inspired you to get into woodwork? Well, I used to help my dad with DIY a lot. My granddad was into doing bits and pieces while he was alive, and when I went to college, because I showed such a keen interest in it, my dad decided to get me build me a workshop in the garden. We got like a big prefab shed and put it together ourselves. He kitted it out with machinery to get me started, like just sort of basic like bits and pieces he already had. Bought a little bandsaw, and I worked with those for quite a while, just as a hobby, while slowly upgrading all my machines. So yeah, he really did sort of start everything for me. And then after a while, I brought everything up to Winterton. My girlfriend's dad helped me with a workshop in the garden, and yeah, this is where you are now, which is my workshop. So it's still being finished. I've extended it. It did stop there. This is all new, and I still need to do all the floor. So yeah, this is my workshop. But yeah. Now, is there anything recent? Cooking is Bake Off your next project? I wish. I don't think I'm as good as... I think I might make it through the first episode at least, and then that's it. That's me. I can't decorate cakes. I can't get that fine finish on icing. I can't do any of that. I might make something that tastes nice, but that's about it. Favourite hand tool to work with? Favourite hand tool? What have I got? Let's say... I do like this saw that I've got. It's actually quite cheap as well. I think it's about £15. I just love it so much. It's so comfortable. So yeah, love that one. That's my favourite hand tool. I have two of them. I have a slightly older one. But yeah. Right. Can you shave your whole body with a chisel? Yeah, that's next week's live stream. Join me next week, or I'll be shaving my entire... My mum says you're an amazing chef. Can't wait for you to come back down and cook for us again. I do love cooking when I go down. Yeah. You have to think of what you want. Does Bonnie ever kick you out of bed and make you sleep in the workshop? No, if I ever came out into the workshop in the middle of the night, I'd probably just carry on working through the night. I struggle to stop. I have to be told to stop, but I hate being told to stop. So yeah, we're almost coming up to 4:30, where I might have to sort of start wrapping up the questions there, maybe finish at 1:45. So if you've got questions, get them in now. Yeah, before anyone gives me a chance, Chris, before she kicks me out and puts me in the workshop, I'd be like, I know exactly what you're going to say, and I'd run out into that workshop, apron on, cheerful look on my face. Right. No, Bonnie, I am not doing a corn impression. Right, do you know what? I'm going to start asking you questions, guys. Are all of you woodworkers, or at least have you all give it a go? Anyone? Woodworkers. Right, yes, I am. Yeah, I know you've had a go. I'm a corn enthusiast. Bonnie, we get it, you like corn. Nathan, you like corn. Guys, just want to clarify that they're on about the band, not the food. Yes, I work in both wood and steel. Ooh. Whereabouts are you based? Chris says he likes corn, as in the food. Oh, people joined. Hi guys. I'll wave at you. Oh, more people joined. Okay, you're in the US. Oh, cool. Oh. Have you ever combined steel and wood to make a massive bit of furniture with an industrial look? Because I'm really into that sort of stuff. My girlfriend's mum's into that sort of stuff. What is your favourite band? My favourite band is probably Nothing But Thieves right now. And Black Keys. People that have just joined, if you like, just ask away anything, ask questions. Happy to answer them. Not yet, but definitely something I have on the list to try. Yeah, I love the look of like really gnarly, rustic, but sounded really nice. Like knotty swirly grain of a tabletop with a steel base legs. I really like the look of those. No more questions from me, but in all seriousness, can you teach? You can teach very well. This time next year you'll have a bunch of people benefiting from these live streams, so I hope you keep it. I'm planning on doing them weekly. I'm planning on doing live streams weekly. At the moment it's a little bit awkward, a little bit, I don't know, I'm learning to get the hang of doing live streams, but hopefully I'll really get the hang of it some point soon. There are some YouTube channels that I know that mainly do live streams, and yeah, I think it's quite a good way to go. It's good for viewer engagement as well. You can ask me and I can answer, and I can tell you what you want to know as you ask it. There's no waiting for answers, emails or whatever, so yeah, I really enjoy it. The meaning of life. Oh, if only I could answer that. I think the meaning of life is different for everyone. I think your meaning is different to my meaning. Some people have no meaning. There's my answer. Oh, there's loads more people who just joined. Hi everyone. We're just doing some Q&A. Just ask away. I wanted to talk to you about lasagna and mini loaf tins. Do you prefer farting or burping? Burping. Meaning of life equals 42. Yes, definitely does. Is that Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? I'm sure that's what that's from. If you do get on the Bake Off, at least you'll get to meet the most famous emo to come out of this country, Noel Fielding. Love Noel Fielding. I'd love to meet Noel Fielding. And Matt Lucas. Matt Lucas is good. But I don't think I'll ever get on Bake Off. I'm not that good. Favourite Doctor Who. I love Doctor Who. My favourite Doctor, bit controversial, I know, is probably Peter Capaldi. Although I do love David Tennant, I just think that if David Tennant was the Doctor with the feel of the Peter Capaldi episodes, yeah, hands down, he'd be my favourite. I just love the feel of the Peter Capaldi episodes, especially while the companion was Bill, because they brought back so much of the classic Who references. So the Doctor and Bill, that was my favourite sort of era. My girlfriend says, yeah, I love Bill. Oh, someone totally agrees. Was that the Doctor Who thing or something else that I've said? I've said so much. I would not be able to tell you anything I've said in this live stream. I've waffled so much. Can you play any instruments? Yeah, I can play the ukulele. Do I play it now? Do I embarrass myself? What are you working on at the moment? I'm actually working on some bits and pieces for a craft fair. So, making some boxes. Here is a finished one. Annoyed that mitre there didn't close up, so I may not sell this one. I may keep it for myself. I've got some more finished ones over there. I've got this lid I'm working on. I need to put some resin around the logs. That'll be really cool. Yeah, some little bits and pieces. Have you got Mel's garden bar done yet? Or is there a sneak peek of what you have done so far? So, at the moment, here is the bar tops themselves. So these are just glued up panels. Quite seamlessly glued up, I think. So yeah, I'm just going to make the leg frames as soon as my domino arrives. so that's what I'm waiting on. I'm partial to the War Doctor because I can pull off a good cosplay of him. I've got to look at your Instagram. You're going to look a spitting image, I bet. You know about the John Hurt one? I do like the John Hurt Doctor. He, what I think was really cool is when they put him on Doctor Who in the Day of the Doctor episode, they put him in the leather jacket, which looks to me like it could be the same leather jacket as Christopher Eccleston wore. Can you please do a live if you're making a mini workbench? I will do, I think. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have something to make, a big project, and I'm going to live stream each week a part of making some of it, I think. So it's sort of like a build-up, and you'll get to follow me along the way. I think that's what I'm going to do. Chris says, do you knock big knots like that through and put a butterfly anchor or whatever the F they're called over it, or is that just for splits and cracks? It's just for splits and cracks because the butterfly, it's also called a Dutchman. It's wedge shaped, so it can't open the crack anymore. I like the knots. The best thing to do is if you look at a bit of wood and you see the knot on both sides, fairly large, it could potentially fall out in future. If the knot is on one side and you can't see it on the other, don't worry. Just leave the knot as it is. If you put a varnish over it or a film finish, I feel like it should be fine anyway. Has more people joined? Hello? Right. Let's... Okay. Has anyone got any more questions? My little brother wants to be in my live. I'm going to let him join for about 10 seconds. Let's see if it works.
Hello,
You've got 10 seconds, go.
what do you want? Why only 10 seconds?
You've got 10 seconds, go. Don't swear, don't say anything rude.
All I should say is the judges are biased.
Oh, you can't, don't go into any of that, Callum. This isn't the place for that.
Okay. Joe?
What?
Why was, apart from the bench being a good joinery, why was it your favourite other than that?
I love working with sapele, so that's my favourite, one of my favourite woods. My favourite wood to actually work with, definitely. And I really would have liked that as a kid, so yeah, that's why it was one of my favourites.
Okay, what about that skills challenge? Why was that the vase your favourite, apart from the final bit?
Pretty much. And I mean, it was I don't know, it was one of the what I didn't think so much about. It just the idea was just there, and I rolled with it. All the sat down, scratched my head for a while, thinking. So,
I think your best skills challenge was that spoon. Or guitar thing, whatever it was. That guitar or spoon or whatever it was.
I don't think that's in here. No. Yeah, I did like that one actually. Yeah, it was a good one.
Your favourite one.
Yeah.
I liked your desk. That was your favourite, I think.
Oh, cool.
My favourite was your desk.
I did like the desk, but unfortunately I didn't get to put the finish on the episode, so it wasn't completed. So.
No, the feet. What caught my attention it was the feet on it.
The gold leaf on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, anyway.
Okay, bye.
Live stream. I'm going to get back to answering. That was my little brother. So, any more questions? The bench was really special. Yeah, I did love the bench. I think my twin now wants to join the live. Okay. I believe he's travelling on a train at the moment, unless he. Are you on are you on the train? Hello?
I'm on a train.
It's very loud.
Oh,
Okay. Oh, Chloe's on the group on the live as well. Oh my god, it's the same person. Okay, Nathan, got any questions? Nathan, you got any questions? I think the internet might be a bit bad. Anyway, guys, if you've got any more questions, just ask them in the comments.
can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. I don't have a question. I just wanted to be on your live.
Well, do you want to make up a question on the spot?
Huh?
You want to make up a question on the spot?
What? How many pockets does your apron have?
How many pockets? Right, let's count. 1, 2, 3. Does this count as 2 or 1? Let you be the judge.
Maybe it's not even a pocket. It's just a hole.
Should we say 1.5? 1, 2, 3.5, 4, 5, 6, 6.5, and a metal loop. You made some really smart decisions with the equipment you used, e.g. mortiser. Do you have all that kit in your own workshop? I do have a mortiser. It's also doubled up as a drill press, so I can. I have to take attachments off to make it as a mortiser. But yeah, it does. It is cool. The on the show obviously way better. So yeah. Anyway, Nathan, it was cool having
I'm
you on
unable to hang up.
And Callum did. Just close the Instagram app or something. Oh, who is there? Chloe said her nan is. Is her nan in here? Where?
She said that she's your biggest fan and she watched every episode on +1 after.
Oh, cool. She is my #1 fan. She may be part of my fan club. I will let her. Oh, is that? Is Luke in here as well? Hi, Luke. Anyway, Nathan.
Will you
Yeah.
make T-shirts?
When I make T-shirts, will people buy T-shirts? I have no idea.
I've got a photo of you that you can have for it.
But anyway,
if you see something that doesn't look right, speak to staff or text the British Transport Police on 61116.
I can't hear you.
The train noise is very loud.
Please say it, sorted.
I can't hang up. It won't let me. I'm stuck.
Just close the app or something.
Oh, that's what I do.
So awkward. Okay. Oh, that was my twin. As you can see, he's very tech savvy. Okay. I'm a little bit offended I'm being ignored. Chloe, tell your nan that I'm her #1 fan too. Have a nice stream, Jake. Do you know what? It's been really fun, actually. It's sort of dying down a little bit now, though. But yeah, has anyone got any suggestions what I should do next week? Right, haircut. I probably will have a haircut by next week. Okay, Callum says his Christmas present. Okay, maybe. I might do a box next week. Are you going to post this anywhere? I might post it. I might post it onto Facebook, YouTube. I think YouTube as well. I might even go live on my YouTube channel next week, actually. I will put all the links and everything you need in my story. My mum says, just want to say how proud we are of you. I don't think you're allowed to say your favourite child, Mum. Oh, favourite is the child's workbench. I thought that said your favourite child. Oh, I agreed for a minute. Favourite is the child's workbench, but they was excellent. Oh, thanks. Such an inspiring young man. Oh, I'd love to meet him. Oh God, I'm probably not that inspiring in real life. Right, I think I'm going to start wrapping this up at about 5 o'clock. So, a plant pot. I could do a plant pot. Yeah, next week. I'm going to write all these down and definitely think about them every day. I have to go, bro, but enjoy the rest of your stream and I'll try jump in again if I'm not at college. Catch you soon. Can you do a corner push? No, Bonnie! Oh, got more people joining. Can you make a silly little Enderman? Like a Minecraft one. Like it. Make a little house. I've made a bird house. Bird box. That's in the cupboard. I'm going to go get that and show you. So it's missing its little step. There's a little step here. But here's a little birdhouse that I made. And if you are around the Kent area on December the 10th, I'm actually doing a live in-store demo in the Axminster store where I'll be recreating this exact thing. So yeah, it's got dovetails all round. Yeah, lovely little cut-out roof. I love it. Yeah. So this was actually my audition piece to get onto the show, and I made this in about 2.5 hours. So the one in Axminster I'm going to spend about 3 hours on. So hopefully it will be half an hour better. An antique doll's house. I think for a doll's house to be antique, it has to be made a long time ago, Nathan. Can you fit in there? Oh, maybe. See? I'm in there. So in the last 10 minutes, has anyone got any suggestions of something to make, something to do? Any more questions? What could I spend the last 10 minutes on? Antique doll's house. Should I just make it? If I made a doll's house with wood that is 400 years old, does that make the doll's house antique? Argue amongst yourselves. More people joining. Ever made your own wooden mallet? That would be a good demo. Do you know what? I actually do have. Is it under the bench? What a time to not actually have it on hand. I've made several mallets. This one is not a homemade mallet. This one is a bought mallet. But I do actually have several mallets I have made. So yeah, I could even turn a carving mallet on the lathe. That would be quite exciting. And it's not a very noisy tool, so I could talk over it. So yeah, good suggestion for another live stream, and good question. So, has anyone got any more questions? Did you make that plant pot behind you? You mean vase, Chloe? I did. I think I've showed this about 6 times, but the viewers keep changing, so I might as well show you again. This was semi-final skills challenge, and it got my place in the final. So, has anyone got any more questions? I'm begging for questions. I'm desperate. Let's look through the stream. I'm going to check if I've got any more questions on here to answer. Okay. Cats or dogs? Well, I used to be a cat person. My nan had a cat in the house. But since moving up here, my girlfriend's family has dogs, and I've grown to be a dog person. Got used to dogs. Used to being around dogs. And yeah, definitely now a dog person. Would you rather fight 1 horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? I'm going to ask all of you that as well. Would you fight 1 horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? I would go for the duck-sized horses because I feel like that wouldn't be able to cause as much damage as a duck with the beak the size of a tennis racket. My mum wants me to make her a vase for Christmas. I might do. What is your one tool you could not do without? Oh, that's not a question that's been asked. I've been asked my favourite tool, but one that I can't cope without having. That would be my bandsaw, which is right here. Now, it's useful for lots of things, obviously cutting curves, but it also has quite a nice depth of cut on it, meaning that I can sort of rip my boards down and make veneers from them. And that's also quite handy when I make these little boxes to cut the lids off, like this. So I can cut them through the bandsaw and then the lid comes off. So that's something that I absolutely love using, can't do without my bandsaw. My little brother said he better put in the Christmas present list. Right, we've got about 5 minutes left of the stream. But if you did miss it, I will put a link to it on my YouTube channel. Put a link on my Instagram to my YouTube channel where you can watch it back. So yeah, it was quite exciting at first. I had quite a lot of questions, but I think I've answered them all. So, make a Jack in the Box. I don't know anyone called Jack. I've got plenty of boxes though. Have you worn wigs? No. You was amazing. Such a good woodworker. Ah, thanks. I'll try my best. Any bad injuries from woodworking? Yeah, I did. I mentioned earlier on the stream. I took all the skin off of my ring finger, knocked a nail up on my middle and index finger, and took a chunk out of my index finger on a table saw once. When I first started out, it took about 20 seconds for the blade to stop. And I was wearing noise cancelling earphones, so you can imagine what happened. Someone asked your favourite piece another contestant made. That's a good one. Oh, okay. My favourite piece another contestant made is... Now, one that they've made, I've got to say it was Russell's Ferris wheel. It's annoying because obviously where contestants went home, they never got to finish. They never got to make everything. But we've seen plans of what people would have made, and do you know what? That would have been some tough competition. So, yeah, hopefully they will share their unmade designs with you guys, and you'll be able to see. But there were some pretty good plans that I'd seen that they would have been my favourite build by far if they'd have made them. Anyone else got any more questions in the last 3 minutes? Was Russell your best mate in the show? Yeah, by far. It was I don't know if you saw in the... What episode was it? Beginning of the rocking chair episode? I love you, Russell, on a little bit of masking tape and stuck it to his tape measure. Got 2 minutes left. Last chance to get your questions in. My girlfriend said, "Why do you hate me?" You keep pestering me to do impressions of corn. Will you wear wigs? No. Right. I think we might have to start. Oh, what's your day job now? Any plans to change jobs? Well, I'm basically in the workshop most of the time. Spend 7 hours a week down the school as the caretaker, and yeah, I plan to keep it that way for a while. If I really can't fit in the time, then I'll have to think about stopping with the caretaking. But yeah, it's working all right. It's working fine. Yeah, that's what I do in the day. It's sort of split up though from day to day. It's a couple of hours there, a couple of hours here, and you know, which is nice. It's nice to be able to fit them both alongside each other quite well. Yeah, I think that's going to have to be my last question, and I might have to start wrapping up the live stream. But yeah, I will put a link to this. Well, I'll share it on my YouTube channel, and you can watch all is it 2 hours? Yeah, 2 hours of it back. Wow, that went quick. But yeah, everyone, hope you have a good evening or morning, depending on where you are in the world, or afternoon. But yeah, hope to see you all soon. Right, thanks for joining.